Commissioner, Mr. President, I rise again, I'm afraid, to make the same old hoary speech that I've been making here for several years, and that is, it is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this outrage, it will continue.
Welcome back to Crash and Eddie. I'm Eddie. No crash today, people. But we got some interesting things to cover, so let's get going. Alright. So today, I love me some Godfrey. You guys ever hear that guy? He does like the same rant like every year. But it's just so dead on, and stuff never changes. That's weird. Anyways, I think he's been doing it since 2010 or something, 2009, maybe since around when Bitcoin came out. I don't know. All the debacle of 2008, probably soon thereafter. Anyways, today we're gonna wrap up Edy Ethena, because I got a couple things I want to explain about that. Don't forget, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. So, yeah, so I want to wrap up some stuff with that. We're going to talk a little bit about DeFi, and we're going to talk about stable coins, and they're all kind of wrapped together. People, you cannot take things into your control until you know some of this stuff, or unless you know some of this stuff, and maybe most of you do, or all of you do, I don't know. But I want to make sure that, so that, you know, you're not relying on other people, but relying on yourself to make really good investment decisions. And the first thing you got to do is make sure you're out of debt. Smart debt only. We'll get into that another day probably, but anyways, so yeah, let's do that. Couple things I want to wrap up. With the last show, we had that announcement, and man, did I get taken to task by the powers that be of YouTube to never mention that. And I kind of forgot about all the giveaway stuff and the donation stuff. I don't even know if I can use that word, but I had it all over my title and stuff like that, and thumbnail and everything. So I actually redid it, and it changed everything. So I think you can say it, but they did have, and they are suing, I guess, the people that put up all the crypto giveaway scams. I mean, it was just so blatant, but I don't see them anymore. And I actually contacted Ripple and said, what are you guys doing? I mean, you're hurting your own company. Why aren't you suing them? And it turned out YouTube ended up doing it, so, which they should. But how do you even allow that? That's the beauty of AI. So, it's so smart that it allows stupid stuff like that. But, anyways, so yeah, we did congrats to Dark Phoenix because he received the giveaway. He got in first, got a hold of us, and you probably have seen some comments and stuff. But anyways, I appreciate it. And congrats on the 500 Flare. Hopefully you got it by now. And you should check out his channel too. I'll drop that somewhere at some point. But it's kind of an interesting channel. Smaller, but he's got some interesting content for sure. So anyways, thanks for participating. And I will say our next one is going to be at 500 subs. So at 500 subs, we'll have another one, and hopefully it'll be bigger and better. So that's kind of cool. Get the word out, hit the like and subscribe, and send this to anyone you think it might be relevant to. The more that people take their finances under their control and their life under their control, the better off they'll be. So that's kind of what this channel's about. It's not about, relying on me. I can get you information. We can get you information on this show, and we'll have fun, and, it's going to be a good time, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? What are you doing for yourself and your family and to protect your loved ones? So there is so much going on. I know you guys are seeing it. And how about the big Nuttin Burger yesterday? You know what? You know what eclipses sell? They sell advertising. So, anyways, that was kind of interesting, but it's over and we're all still alive and we made it, so congrats on that. Cool. Let's move on. Alright. So, big sea of red today in crypto land. Not much is up. Little Monero's up. But, yeah. The one that we are interested in, though, that we're going to talk about is Ethena one more time. Okay, I just wanted to put some stuff to rest because we're going through fundamental regulation. And you notice the first really significant regulation that they're making, clearly that's what it's going to be, is, man, I gotta close some of these tabs. This computer is just getting jammed up. But the first significant regulations are on stablecoins, you notice. Why is that? So here's Ethena, we're 122. But really, who cares about the price? What's more important is some significant stuff that they got going on. So Ethena is in DeFi, right? And we're going to hit on DeFi kind of more and more because that's just such an amazing opportunity that we all have, is to do stuff with your money that previously only institutions could do. And it goes, wow, this is a new smallest bubble ever. What is this? DAI. Alright, that's a new record small. because, you know, you have the opportunity to do stuff with your money that you've never been able to do. Just so you know, I mean, you guys, and you probably know this, but, you know, just the fact that you're listening to this video and learning about anything having to do with crypto puts you probably in 5% to 10% of the globe. Top 5-10% that even want to deal with it. And if you've dealt with it at all, you know it's one royal pain in the ass. So, but, you know, by the time it's not, like, you know, call up BlackRock and do an ETF, and, you know, I mean, it's a completely different ballgame, and you're getting cash back. You're in the cash system. So, and that's, you know, there's benefits to that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you have to have, my take is there's going to be two parallel worlds, basically. You're going to have crypto and you're going to have fiat for now, and you're going to have to deal with both. And significant things that you want to do, they're going to make it run through fiat. I mean, you can see it all around. And this gets into the battle with stablecoins, and it is a war. There is a war with stablecoins right now and fiat and regulations with them. You know, obviously the most prevalent stablecoin is Tether, right? So Tether is where is it on here? It's in here somewhere. I don't know. Can't find it, but so basically that's the biggest stablecoin on the Ethereum chain. It's the biggest stablecoin, and it's on the Ethereum chain. So here's Tether. You know, you have market cap of a little over 100 billion. So stablecoins, and right now they make up, some of the statistics going around, they make up about 150 billion. In a few years, they're looking, smart people are predicting the stablecoin market to be at like 2.8 trillion or so. So by maybe 2008-ish. So it's a massive market, and it's going to get more massive. So in comes Ethena, and there's a lot of different DeFis. We'll explore some different stuff. And XRP is getting into the stablecoin market. So they made a big announcement this week, or I guess last week, or yeah, a few days ago, that they are coming out with a stablecoin. And that is a big, big deal. So say what you will about it. And now everyone's like, oh, what do you need XRP for? People you don't get it, man. It's a bridge. It's a bridge currency. So it's a utility token. It's a bridge currency. It can do a lot of stuff. But Ripple is going to have a stablecoin. So I don't know when it's going to come out yet. They haven't said that, but so, you know, you have Ethena's stablecoin that is a synthetic dollar. Okay, you notice they don't, again, I don't know if I said this already because my video is totally screwed up, but I'm trying to go through this, guys, and it's going to be one take for the most part. I'm not doing a bunch of editing and stuff because we don't have the resources or the time or any of that. So, but you notice they don't have their yields up now. So, you know, that really enticing 35% yield. This thing is a complete problem, in my personal opinion, because of the way it was launched, what it does. It just screams security. And the biggest problem is it's not backed by the US dollar. And, you know, you'll notice that one thing Tether did is they backed it with US securities. They backed it with, they definitely have some Bitcoin backing it. I forget the percentage, but they have Bitcoin backing, but they also have U.S. Securities and equivalents, U.S. cash and cash equivalents backing it. So T-bills, T-bonds, whatever. So, you know, of course, that's going to have some favor with the G, of course. This thing, it's Terra Luna-esque, really, as far as what it's backed. It's these synthetic, I don't even know if they're going to fly, at least in the U.S. It might fly outside of the U.S. In the U.S., you can pretty much rest assured that the main core of this stablecoin bill that they're going to come out with is going to be, it's going to be that it has to be backed. Any U.S. dollar stablecoin, if you're putting that stamp on it that it's a U.S. dollar stablecoin, it's going to have to be backed by the dollar. You know, it's going to basically have to have the dollar in it and be backed by the dollar. So, I don't know if these synthetics are going to fly. They might fly, like I said, outside the U.S., but the U.S., you've seen, they have a reach. They have a reach. Binance was completely outside the U.S. and they got taken down, you know, handedly and quickly. Why? Because they weren't in the system. So it's fascinating the way this stuff is going about, but that is really the gist of, let me see this here real quick. Yeah, so here's some talk about XRP, okay? Ripple XRP, which is Ripple, announced on April 4th that it's diving into the stablecoin market, launching a digital currency tied to the US dollar. The company aims to bring more stability and ease of use for its XRP ledger. It's actually, guys, when you think about it, brilliant move. I'm sure it's been in the works and makes a ton of sense. Ripple plans to back its new stablecoin with US dollar deposits, short-term US government treasuries, and similar assets, along with third-party audits and monthly reports on its reserve assets. And that's the thing about this. They are going to crush it because they're in with all the G's and they're completely compliant in every way. And now they're really the only legal crypto that's out there because of this lawsuit. So that thing is a blessing in disguise that lawsuit was taken on us. It's been painful and stuff, and XRP holders definitely got hurt, but man, when you look at how it's all going down, it's quite a benefit to have it out of the way. And then they drop Flare on the XRP holders. If you want to take advantage of it, here you go. And guess what Flare has already come out with and said they need? They need a stable coin. So they can either use their own stable coin, or they could use XRPs or Ripple's stable coin, which who knows what that'll be called, but it just makes sense. Guess which one they're going to use. Because these stable coins, I mean, you're competing with the big dog, which is Tether. And now they're looking at Tether. Just as Ripple dropped this news, they're looking at Tether and saying, are you aiding China in making different moves or you know, other countries in some of the stuff? They're starting to probe around with that too. So you just wonder, man. I mean, and you keep in mind that, you know, there's going to be volatile. There is no more volatile space than the one that you are in if you're in crypto. So they're going to create volatility and chances for the powers that be to get in, because mostly institutions are not in at all. That train has just started, and they now they have to get in. Do they want to pay top dollar? No. No, so they're going to create opportunities for that to happen, and be careful with Tether. I think Tether is going to stay around because it's a tracking device, and they can watch everything that goes on with that. So, and Ethereum. So, I think they're both gonna make it, but it's opportunities for volatility and entrances and exits and shaking out the weak hands. But so that's really the gist of it with stable coins. I wanted you guys to know, I mean, there's stable coins and there's stable coins. The US looks at stable coins as basically you're backed by US dollar equivalents. So, and we're going to have a problem, and therefore that coin, whatever coin is not, it's going to be tricky stuff. So I don't think this is going to pass, but maybe it will. You know, will it get big? I don't know. We'll see. You got to do your own research and see what you think, but it's interesting how they already said now it's backed by both Bitcoin and Tether. And, you know, follow this one if you will. It's, let me just see what else I got. Shiba Buds is a new contender for this one in DeFi. You know, I'm going to do something on Hex. Okay, that was kind of brought to my attention, and I forgot that is, at the end of the day, DeFi, and they have a huge community, man. And they've gone through a lot of stuff, but, you know, at the end of the day, DeFi it's huge. It's huge, and, you know, it's huge, but it's tiny. It's tiny right now, but it's gonna be big. And, I mean, look at this thing just came out, and there's like 2 billion locked already. TVL, and you'll see that term in crypto. You'll see total value locked, TVL. Just for a reference point, like Ripple came out with the AMM for the ledger, and that got to about, I think, 1 million, maybe 100 million TVL, and they discovered a bug and they pulled it down. So that'll be coming out again too. But yeah, it's fascinating what's going on. This stable coin is big. The biggest difference with Ethena versus other, you know, stable coins is it's not backed by US dollars at all. So they can call it a USDE, and, you know, we'll see where that gets them. But this just says US users who lock 50% or more of their ENA relative to their balance of USDE will receive a reward boost of 50%. Yeah, large holders have been withdrawing funds from Binance and staking to capitalize on reward increase. The other thing with DeFi and crypto, you guys, is I want you to understand that at the end of the day, liquidity wins. It's why Bitcoin is number one, because it's the most liquid, or it's the most liquid because it's number one. They kind of go hand in hand. Your liquidity goes hand in hand. So you'll notice with a lot of cryptos, it's easy to get in, relatively. Getting out can be a challenge, you know, more so. When do you get out? Can you get out? Is there any liquidity, you know? So, and I'm not saying you want to get out. It's, again, it's a parallel system, so, you know, but you might want to, and you'll notice, especially when you get out of the top 100, it's liquidity. What exchanges are you even on? So Of course, with Ethena, right away, boom, you're on a ton of exchanges. Again, that's what VCs will do. Because guess what they want? Liquidity. There's nothing more important to a VC than liquidity, because if you can't get out, that's a problem. So, yeah, so, just wanted to touch on that. Stable coins are huge, and to deal with DeFi, again, Flare, they're going to have a stable coin. They're not out with all their stuff. And I wonder what'll come out first. This will be really interesting timing to watch, like how fast this stable coin comes out from Ripple versus all the other stuff and everything that's going on with the globe. I mean, guys, pay attention. This has all been planned out. There's nothing happenstance here. There's nothing, let's see when this or how this goes about. It's all timed out. You can see it. So, Jamie Dimon came out with a big warning about stuff, and, interest rates. We'll see what happens with them. I think the printing will continue. It has to pretty much continue. The difference between everything in the past and now is 35 trillion in debt. That's really the difference. You have to deal with that. And not just, that's us. The globe has I don't know, for sure hundreds of trillions, but if you look at it certain ways, really quadrillion or more of debt to deal with. So it's a completely different ballgame now with interest rates and with money and everything. And that's why this system exists. It's not a few people that, hey, let's get this system going. We're going up against the banks. No, that's not what this is. This has all been planned out. It's a parallel system, and that's why you're learning about it, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it just like you know how to deal with a bank and write checks or use a debit card or sit on hold with a credit card company or go through all the fees that they, you've learned a different type of finance, but now you're going to learn about taking stuff under your control, and it's going to benefit you and your loved ones greatly if you adapt to it. So adopt it and adapt to it. It's a huge learning curve, as you know. So anyways, let's wrap it up with that. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments section. Any cryptos you want to review, not saying I'll definitely do it, but I might. Throw them down there. See what do you want to learn about? What do you want exposure to? What do you want thoughts on? All these are personal opinions and thoughts, not financial advice. You got your own path that you got to deal with. Everyone's finances are different. Crypto might not even be right for you. Banks might not be right for you. Who knows? I don't know your situation, but I know we're going to have a lot of fun on Crash and Edy and learn and grow together. So, but yeah, that's it for ENA Ethena. I got nothing else to say on it, really. I've seen enough to say I'd need to see a lot more. It's definitely interesting to watch, and I'm going to follow it just to see where stuff goes. I think it's fascinating today that you pull it up and they don't have a yield there. And those yields are, what they do. They basically set aside coins and then pay them out. And if they're not realistic, it's not sustainable. So get your 50% bump, but what are you really getting at the end of the day? You're basically, in this case, for now, you're buying Bitcoin and Ethereum is what you're doing in this particular internet bond. What do I know? This thing could be huge, and you could make a ton of money on it. So, do your own research. Hit the like and subscribe. Congrats again. Actually, hold on here. Shout out to AQ Adaptive Intelligence. Interesting channel. He's got some good vids, so give him a like and subscribe. And congrats on the Flare. So hopefully you got it by now, and everything's cool with that. So, and like I said, we'll do another one hopefully real soon. So I'm looking forward to that. And we'll have some other news actually too on that, because we're gonna do some interesting things with giveaways. So we'll talk more on that down the road. You guys have a great week, and do the right thing, people. Don't forget, God helps those who help themselves. So help yourself, learn and grow every day, and do what you do. This is Edy for Crash and Edy. I'm out. Man, if you guys listen to this point, it's amazing. You guys are gold. But if you listen and you didn't hit a like or drop any kind of comment, I am going to be livid with you. So come on, man. I mean, that's what gets this channel going. You know, we need subs, we need likes, we need subscribes. So please, please do that. Seriously, if you listened all the way through, man, we should give you something, but not until we get to 500 subs. Alright, people. Have a good one. Talk to you real soon. Bye.